Finally tonight, in 85 cities across the country, Saturday was Meet a Muslim Day.
There's no better time to be a Muslim in America than right now. Although there's a lot of Islamophobia happening out there, there's also a lot of Islamo curiosity.
But on Saturday, Muslims across the country tried to fight fear of Islam with friendly conversation and facts.
As a Muslim in America, what do you find is the most common question or misconception that people have?
Probably the most common one is that jihad is a violent war against the non-Muslims. There's nothing in Islam that allows for radicalism.
That exchange and hundreds like it were part of the first national Meet a Muslim Day, a project of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. Spokesperson Salam Bhatti met people in New York's Times Square.
Get out there, be out of our comfort zones, and have our neighbors meet us so that we can let them know that Islam is a peaceful religion. Muslims are loyal to this country. This is our country of residence, and we're here to progress together.
Almost 2/3 of Americans don't know a Muslim in their everyday lives, according to Pew Research.
People tell us like Islam is cancer and it needs to be eradicated.
And according to the FBI, anti-Muslim hate crimes have surged 67% since 2002, reaching a level not seen since the 9/11 attacks. Volunteer Assad Bajua hopes this weekend of conversation will help bring those numbers down.
But it's all a lack of knowledge. If they're a little more educated about the topic, which is why we're here.
Turkey is now trying to manipulate elections in Europe and deploying politicians to all major EU states. Erdogan has basically set up a dictatorship, and he's now calling the Netherlands Nazis because they won't let his political party set up there. A foreign government wants to come set up in your country, and I mean, that's what they're doing with the Muslims. That's what happens. Hell, they're always fighting with each other in their countries.
This is a result of Islamophobia. The West has shown its real face for the last few days in a very clear way. Very well then, the Netherlands, if you are willing to sacrifice Turkish-Dutch relations over your upcoming elections on Wednesday, you will pay the price. We have not even begun to do what needs to be done.
Danish Prime Minister has also called on his Turkish counterpart to delay a planned visit because of the current tensions between Ankara and the Netherlands. Lars Løkke said it will have been a pleasure to receive Binali Yildirim as planned on March 20th. Løkke, however, added it's better to put off the meeting for now as Turkey is attacking a close ally of Denmark. France has urged restraint amid Turkey's confrontation with some European countries. French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault said it's upon all of the involved countries to act responsibly and avoid unnecessary controversies. He also urged Turkish authorities to stop using provocative rhetoric.
Turkey and the Netherlands are both members of NATO, and I think what we're seeing is the signs of a fracturing of NATO gradually, certainly particularly when it comes to Turkey, which is being viewed increasingly negatively by most of the other NATO nations in Western Europe and, particularly the original NATO nations. There are a lot of strains on NATO right now, and the last thing the organization needed was this kind of a real blow-up between two members. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here.
Now, the Italian city of Naples has been a scene of violent protests against a visit by a leader of an anti-Islam political party. The riot police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse demonstrators who threw rocks and Molotov cocktails at police. Protesters are angry at the visit of Northern League's leader, Matteo Salvini, to the southern city of Naples. Northern League is based in the northern part of the European country. Political party is known for its anti-immigrant, anti-Islam, and anti-European Union stance.
Palestinian Islamic resistance movement Hamas has slammed an Israeli bill that would ban Muslim calls to prayer from being announced through loudspeakers. Hamas warned that such a law by the Israeli regime would face tough resistance. The controversial bill initially prohibits the use of loudspeakers in places of worship between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m., which will prevent mosques from announcing the first of Islam's 5 daily azans or calls to prayer. Further measures in the bill would completely prohibit places of worship from using loudspeakers at all times. Palestinians started a third intifada in October of 2015 after Tel Aviv imposed tight restrictions on Muslims' access to the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
I think that the Palestinian popular uprising or intifada will continue because of this grave Israeli violation of the freedom of worship for Palestinians. This racist bill targets the faith of Palestinians, and I don't think that Palestinians will let it pass easily. Palestinians will fight against this law and they will confront the Israeli regime by all possible means. I expect an escalation in resistance, even in armed resistance, to fight this bill.
After months of uneasy long-distance skirmishes, Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, and Donald Trump, the new President of the United States, will meet for the first time on Tuesday. It is a high-stakes encounter that will be watched by governments around the world for clues about the future of the transatlantic alliance. The partnership has helped shape the global order since World War II. Trump has threatened to upend the alliance. Charles Kupchan, who advised Trump's predecessor Barack Obama on European policy as a member of the National Security Council, said, "I do think they have a strong interest, both politically and strategically, in learning how to work together. It is arguably the most important meeting with a foreign leader of Trump's presidency."
Marine Le Pen has support from a crucial part of the electorate, young voters. According to Breitbart News, polling suggests that Marine Le Pen is supported by a quarter of young voters in France. Le Pen is running on a nationalist platform, one of many cropping up across Europe. She's polling favorably among 18 to 24-year-olds. This portion of the French electorate is usually liberal and broadly opposed to all expressions of nationalism. She is currently polling ahead of both her left-wing opponents in this bracket.
Student Satanists announced lamb sacrifice and Bible burnings at Clemson University. Just listen to this. Students at Clemson University have announced plans via a poster to perform a live bloodletting and lamb sacrifice and a burning of the Bibles to commemorate the building of a new campus chapel. A poster on campus attributed to a student organization calling themselves the Clemson Unorthodox Neo-Satanic Temple, CUNT for short, announced plans to perform the ceremony at the Cunt Afterlife party on March 11th. No location was specified. The poster contains imagery associated with Satanism, like pentagrams and an illustration of the goat-headed Baphomet. Unbelievable.
Vandals scrawled graffiti claiming the Holocaust was fake history on an exterior wall of a Seattle synagogue, leading the rabbi to urge President Donald Trump to more forcefully denounce a wave of anti-Semitic incidents in recent months. Seattle police said they were investigating the vandalism at Temple de Hirsch Sinai as a hate crime after an off-duty officer spotted it Friday. Holocaust is fake history, read this spray-painted message, with each S letter written as $signs.
Governor Cuomo has ordered an investigation into another bomb threat against the Jewish Community Center in Rochester. Police say about 300 people were inside the center today when the email threat came in. The center was evacuated and closed while police searched the building. This is the second threat against that same center in less than 1 week.
Soft drinks maker Coca-Cola has launched a gay-friendly ad featuring a brother and sister vying for the attention of a handsome pool boy in a campaign that has won praise for diversity and inclusion. The ad is part of the company's global Taste the Feeling campaign and features a teenage girl ogling the pool boy from a downstairs window, while her brother does the same from upstairs. Senior manager of global brand PR for the Coca-Cola company, Ali Brubaker, said, "It's a human story where Coca-Cola plays a key role in the development of the drama."
The organizers of the annual Los Angeles Gay Pride have announced that this year's march will be replaced by a protest against President Donald Trump. Local West Hollywood news outlet WeHoville.com revealed late last night in a statement that read, "The annual Pride Parade has been canceled, setting to the nationwide LGBT Resist March that is scheduled in many U.S. states for Sunday, June 11th, the day the Los Angeles Pride Parade would normally occur." It quotes organizer Brian Pendleton via Queerity, "We want to resist apathy." In a press statement, Christopher Street West, the organization that stages LA Pride Parade and Festival, said, given the current political climate where divisiveness and discrimination continue to be part of the mainstream dialogue, CSW is determined to make the LA Pride brand a unifying force for the LGBTQ plus community and its allies across all of Los Angeles.
In Illinois, the state where former President Barack Obama forged his political roots, new legislation was introduced proposing a state holiday to honor his legacy. Unfortunately, everyone was not happy about the idea. According to Politico, State Rep Andrew Tapetti was bombarded with a stream of death threats, venomous emails, and phone calls after introducing the proposed legislation.
Iran has unveiled its first advanced battle tank named Karrar. The production line was inaugurated concurrent with the unveiling ceremony in the capital, Tehran. Press TV's Hami Javani has more on that story.
Iran adds to its military equipment on the ground. The Iran-made advanced battle tank Karrar has become operational and is being mass-produced, giving Iran's ground forces a significant boost. The armored vehicle possesses laser target designation technology with immense destructive power. High mobility and electro-optical jammer, along with other advanced features, places the tank among the world's most advanced.
It is our nation's resolute decision to be at its highest level of defense preparedness in the face of any possible threat, and we don't have any political nor geographical ambition ever against any country.
The newly unveiled battle tank is also capable of firing laser-guided missiles and is equipped with the latest camouflage techniques against armor-piercing weaponry. The defense minister also proposed that the countries in the region must collectively move toward developing a security model leading to a safer region, bearing in mind that the presence of foreign countries can never guarantee their security. With less than a week from the unveiling of Iran's indigenous multi-purpose helicopter Sabah 248, the Islamic Republic puts its first advanced battle tank in display, and this is in line with the country's policy to constantly upgrade its military capabilities.
Myanmar residents are seeking shelters near the Chinese town of Nanshan. Besides efforts by the Chinese government, some volunteers are providing humanitarian aid to people fleeing violent conflict across the border. Sporadic gunfire can be heard in the distance. These Myanmar residents seem unperturbed. Many arrived here last week. Some have been here for more than 3 years. With an uncertain future, the people receiving aid have the simplest wishes. But their biggest desire is to return home. Some have tried returning to Myanmar, but had to come back again. Know that they have basic life necessities. These people can take a pause and breathe for a little while. As the violent clashes continue back home, with the rainy season approaching, things won't be getting any easier anytime soon.
According to the country officials, a landslide killed at least 46 people at a waste dump outside Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on Sunday. Officials were still investigating how the landslide at the sprawling Kosha landfill occurred. Negri Lencho, the country's communications minister, said it's a sad story because the government's been trying to resettle the people residing in the area. He added that security personnel are still searching for people who have been reported missing in the landslide and that the government is working to resettle the families affected.
At least 38 people have been killed and a dozen more injured in northern Haiti when a bus drove into pedestrians while fleeing from a separate accident. The driver initially hit 2 people, killing one of them, but then fled the scene and crashed into a group of musicians who were taking part in a parade some 5 kilometres away. After the accident, other musicians and bystanders began hurling rocks at the bus and passing vehicles, injuring more people. The driver was eventually taken to a local police station. A politician said usually the drivers in such incidents don't stop because they're afraid they might be killed in reprisal. It was not clear what caused the original accident.
Waging war on pollution. This is a younger generation's fight back following the recent revelations that the air we breathe is dirty and dangerous.
So we wanted to make it quite anarchic, a little bit dangerous, revolution, sort of that kind of attitude.
Vasilisa's group Clean Air Now started this anti-pollution billboard campaign to try and engage a younger audience. Whilst air pollution might bring to mind Beijing or Delhi, in Europe, France, Germany, Spain, Italy and Britain have all been found to be breaching air pollution limits. Well, using this monitor, you can see the level of dust particles in the air, and it's changing all the time and actually often spiking to get to a level that over a sustained period would be considered unsafe. Now, areas like this have proven so bad for the air quality that the EU has issued the UK with a final warning and told Britain to clean up or face the consequences. Britain's currently preparing a new anti-pollution plan in a bid to avoid heavy EU fines. But in the meantime, for people living in and around pollution hotspots, there's little escape.
Indoors, air quality is often worse than it is outdoors anyway.
How dangerous as a whole is the situation with the air we breathe right now?
40,000 people a year die from air quality. We can do something about 40,000 deaths, surely.
From air monitors to eco-gangs, the fight against air pollution has kicked up a gear. But the threat, dubbed the invisible killer, in our streets and in our homes, is very real. And the warning from all sides is that despite the increased awareness, the measures to tackle it aren't coming fast enough.
Saying there was potential for a major winter storm Monday night into Wednesday with 12 to 18 inches of snow expected, weather forecasters on Sunday put the greater New York City area under blizzard watch. The National Weather Service said the storm raised the potential for dangerous travel and power outages, with damaging wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour possible across eastern Long Island and southeastern Connecticut. In the western United States, meanwhile, the service forecast potentially record-setting heat in Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. There, temperatures were expected into the 90s Fahrenheit in some places.
This is the proverbial calm before the storm. This slumbering army of snowplows ready to come alive Tuesday for the massive nor'easter bound for the tri-state.
We're New Yorkers, though. We can handle it.
The Saboni family from Seaford, Long Island says they're stocked up and geared up for a storm they think is overdue.
I kind of expected it because we had such a mild, early winter that it was going to drag on into the, to the spring possibly.
We have our salt at home, our shovels are ready, and snow blowers got gas. So we're on our way.
The city of Yonkers is sufficiently stocked with a massive pile of road salt for their plows. Not the case at the local Home Depot, where they still have snow shovels, but sold out of ice melt. An emergency supply is expected by tomorrow. Shoppers were happy to find a healthy supply of ice melt at Stu Leonard's, especially after thinking winter was over.
I know you weren't planning for it, but are you planning now since you're here?
I'm trying to be proactive.
I thought it was supposed to be springtime, and then I found that it's not, and because of the big snowstorm. So I have mixed feelings about this. I'm confused with it.
What is clear is what appears to be an inevitable snow day. Workers were busy stocking shelves as shoppers grabbed all the necessities, filling carts to the rim to hunker down at home.
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And tell me what you love about all this snow.
No school.
The sight of a book used to cause 8-year-old Keaton to have a meltdown.
Now with the help of these dogs, he's reading with ease. Keaton, who has autism, reads at a preschool level. His mom, Gemma, says he struggled to read until his school psychologist suggested using a service dog to help. But the wait list for service dogs was too long, so Gemma used the family pets instead. She told Keaton dogs love to hear kids read. That was enough to encourage her son to hit the books. Now he spends every evening reading to his friends. And that's a beautiful story of its own.